Hi everyone, delonewolf here and welcome back to the Sunday recap, my weekly vlog where I talk a bit about my last week in games. And as always, we'll start with EVE Online, which has been a pretty slow week. I didn't play a lot of EVE Online, mostly just been hanging out in Jita a little bit, taking a look at the market, because of course with the patch that CCP dropped for the Grand Heist, quite a few changes happened as well. Lower taxes, we got the daily ISKA rewards now that are coming in. So overall, an interesting time to take a look at the trade hub, see if there's any potential there. Haven't really pulled the trigger on any trades, but I do think there may be some opportunities out there. And next to that, all I really did was the daily challenges. So mostly focusing on killing a couple of rats. So that's been through some anomaly grinding. Something that, you know, if I don't feel like I've got a lot of time to go out there and explore for a couple of hours or something like that, that's what I tend to fall back to. Just, you know, take one of my ships out, find a couple of anomalies, grind them down. I actually then also loot them using a mobile tractor unit most of the time, do a little bit of salvaging in those as well. And just completely clean out the site. It's super fast, very relaxed, and definitely something that I can enjoy as well when I feel like I don't have a lot of time or energy to play EVE Online. So that's been just the main focus, just maintaining my daily EVE Online activity, but definitely at a pretty slow pace. I also, of course, kept up with PI. That's been going, you know, just regularly. You just come on, set your extractors, and if everything is set up nicely, you get your stuff on the regular. Right, a little bit of imbalance here again. I start to produce too much water. Didn't really notice it, so a couple of my planets were completely full, which basically forces me to do a quick jump clone back to a Mars space where I have my PI set up, and I emptied out most of them of the finished products and trying to rebalance my extractors a little bit so that we can keep going for a long period of time without needing too much maintenance. That's how I do my PI. The stuff that I'm producing at the moment that I can sell right away is coolants and mechanical parts. So from two gas planets and 2 barren planets. Those have gone up in price a little bit. At least coolants has made its way back to 9,000 disc. That's a reasonable price. Mechanical parts, not that great, but it's also super easy to produce, and so a lower price on that is very, very normal. So yeah, that's the stuff that I've been focusing on mostly when it comes to that PI. I'm still just using the very same planets that have been up and running for years at this point. It's super simple. Just every single day when I come on, I start them, I set them up at like 23-30 cycles, so that the next day, you know, I usually do come on around the same time after work. I can just restart them and we are good for the day. So yeah, that's been my week in EVE Online. Pretty passive. Of course, CCP also came out with the July announcement, and so right now I think, you know, it's all about prepping, trying to set yourself in the position that you want to be for the upcoming changes for EVE Online, where of course the scarcity phase is going to end in the next quarter. So we still have to basically deal with the scarcity for a couple more months, and then CCP will hopefully start to implement the dynamic system for extra resource availability. I myself am pretty curious about that. I'm kind of hoping that exploration will play a part in that. It's the playstyle that I do enjoy the most, but we will of course see what CCP announces and decides to do for the game. And there is of course a reason why I played a lot less EVE Online all of a sudden, and that is the new league for Path of Exile. So I started playing a couple of characters there, just trying to have some fun and enjoying some more Path of Exile. Definitely interesting changes that have happened so far, and when I saw the slam totems, I had to give that a try. Hero Pound totem character, I do love that, and there's like a passive tree that I pretty much know my way around there that works decently well. So he can field 3 totems very quickly, just with the first ascendancy, and then going for one of those totem nodes on a passive skill tree. And that means I now have 3 conk path totems that just keep slamming around them and actually chase after the enemies up to a certain range. It's pretty cool, very unique, not very powerful, but that's probably because of my gear. I really haven't, you know, focused too much on getting any good gear or stuff like that. So it's difficult for me to know exactly how I should scale that damage up, but it's interesting. It's definitely a completely different, a rather unique way that these totems are acting. Very big AoE potentially, so I like it, and we'll see how I can evolve that character. I know that there's like an alternative for that as well. I think it's like the new Soul Rent ability or something like that. Not really a slam totem, but it's also a totem potentially that I could, totem build that I could go for. I just have to tweak the character. So far all the passives that I've taken are pretty generic, focused on life defenses and the totems themselves. So I could very easily transition if the slam totems themselves, the conk path totems, don't turn out to be as strong as I would like. But I need some gear, and so I started a second character. Very classic, of course, minions. I went with the minion instability, focusing around skeletons mostly, although I also have a totem that automatically shoots out some of those little skulls that will explode as well with Infernal Legion. And then supported this time, I really tried to focus on getting minions that support the explosions, the fire damage very well. So I've got 3 specters that have like a curse and then some exposure abilities, and then next to that I just have the 2 golems that give myself some defensive buffs, a stone golem and the chaos golem. Definitely a lot of fun as well, and another path on the passive tree that I kind of know at this point. I know where to go to, and it's very, very powerful. A lot of damage, way more damage than the totem character, but I'm kind of hoping that I can grind that one out into maps first, get maybe like a good 2-handed weapon for my totem character, and then have that one catch up with a little bit better gear. I'm also still on like a 4 link on that totem character, so there's some work gear wise to be done for me to keep going. So far I have enjoyed this league quite a lot. I think the mechanic itself is pretty intuitive, doesn't feel too clunky or anything like that. You can in fact choose the challenge of the encounter that you do yourself by setting up those explosives, so that is pretty damn cool. And I haven't actually used any of the trading within it, so I'm grinding that down, and if I'm not mistaken, once you get a character to level 83, you basically have the best possible returns on that currency. So I've just been hoarding all of it, yeah, I kind of like the changes. Act 1 definitely challenging, but to me didn't feel like it was that challenging. I do think that minion builds and totem builds are always pretty strong when it comes to regular survivability, so that definitely helped there as well. While I do really like the flask changes, I haven't really done anything with them because I only have a couple of those instilling orbs that have dropped so far, so I haven't tried to make any of these automatic or triggered flasks just yet. I do plan on doing that. I'm still not sure exactly what triggers exist and which one I want to do for which one, so I'll need a little bit of research on that, but that's definitely something that I want to explore this league as well, because this is basically a change in the flask mechanics that I think is there to stay for any upcoming league. So learning that one, definitely something that I want to do as well, but looking mostly at just having some fun and enjoying a little bit of Path of Exile time as well with this league, and so far definitely succeeding. I'm having a lot of fun playing these 2 characters so far. So yeah, that was my last week in games, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.